Hi everyone. I welcome you all for the 37th part of video where I tell you about 3 exam questions which appeared in AWS Solutions Architect exam in November 2023. Please consider subscribing the channel as it motivates me to share more content for the AWS community. Without any delay, let's get started. Question 109. What is true about RDS read replicas encryption? If the master database is encrypted, the read replicas can be either encrypted or unencrypted. If the master database is unencrypted, the read replicas are encrypted. If the master database is unencrypted, the read replicas can be either encrypted or unencrypted. If the master database is encrypted, the read replicas are encrypted. Explanation. Correct answer. If the master database is encrypted, the read replicas are encrypted. Amazon RDS read replicas improve RDS database DB instance performance and durability. For read-heavy database workloads, they make it simple to elastically extend out beyond the capacity restrictions of a single DB instance. Amazon RDS produces a second DB instance from a snapshot of the source DB instance for the MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, Oracle, and SQL Server database engines. It then uses the engine's inbuilt asynchronous replication to update the read replica whenever the source DB instance changes. Read replicas can exist within an availability zone, across availability zones, or across regions. On an Amazon RDS-enabled database instance, data saved at rest in the underlying storage is secured, as are automated backups, read replicas, and snapshots. As a result, this option is correct. RDS read replica overview. Please pause this video and go through this information. Also check this link for more information. Incorrect answers. If the master database is unencrypted, the read replicas can be either encrypted or unencrypted. If the master database is unencrypted, the read replicas are encrypted. Because the read replicas cannot be encrypted if the master database is not encrypted, both of these alternatives are invalid. If the master database is encrypted, the read replicas can be either encrypted or unencrypted. If the master database is encrypted, the read replicas are necessarily encrypted. So this option is incorrect. References. Check this link for more information. Question 110. A Silicon Valley-based startup has a content management application with the web tier running on EC2 instances and the database tier running on Amazon Aurora. Currently, the entire infrastructure is located in its East 1 region. The startup has 90% of its customers in the US and Europe. The engineering team is getting reports of deteriorated application performance from customers in Europe with high application load time. As a solutions architect, which of the following would you recommend addressing these performance issues? Select 2. Set up another fleet of EC2 instances for the web tier in the EU West 1 region. Enable latency routing policy in Route 53. Create Amazon Aurora multi-as standby instance in the EU West 1 region. Create Amazon Aurora red replicas in the EU West 1 region. Set up another fleet of EC2 instances for the web tier in the EU West 1 region. Enable geolocation routing policy in Route 53. Set up another fleet of EC2 instances for the web tier in the EU West 1 region. Enable failover routing policy in Route 53. Explanation. Correct answers. Set up another fleet of EC2 instances for the web tier in the EU West 1 region. Enable latency routing policy in Route 53. Amazon Route 53 is a cloud domain name system (DNS) web service that is highly available and scalable. When you have resources in various AWS regions and wish to route traffic to the region with the lowest latency, use latency-based routing. Latency-based routing requires you to create latency records for your resources across various AWS regions. When Route 53 receives a DNS query for your domain or subdomain, example.com or acme.example.com, it assesses which AWS regions you've produced latency records for, which region has the lowest latency for the user, and then chooses a latency record for that area. Route 53 responds with the value from the specified record, such as a web server's IP address. As customers in Europe are facing performance issues with high application load time, you can use latency-based routing to reduce the latency. Hence, this is the correct option. Route 53 Routing Policy Overview. Please pause this video and go through this information. Also check this link for more information. Create Amazon Aurora RAID replicas in the EU West 1 region. Amazon Aurora is a relational database created for the cloud that is MySQL and PostgreSQL compatible. It combines the performance and availability of standard enterprise databases with the simplicity and cost-effectiveness of open-source databases. Amazon Aurora includes a fault-tolerant, self-healing storage system that auto-scales up to 64 terabytes per database instance. Amazon Aurora RAID replicas can be used to scale out reads across regions. This will improve the application performance for users in Europe. Therefore, this is also a correct option for the given use case. Incorrect answers. Set up another fleet of EC2 instances for the web tier in the EU West 1 region. Enable geolocation routing policy in Route 53. Geolocation routing allows you to select the resources that will serve your traffic based on the geographic location of your users, i.e. the location from where DNS requests originate. For example, you might want to send all European inquiries to an ELB load balancer in the Frankfurt area. You can also utilize geolocation routing to limit content delivery to only the locations where you have distribution permissions. Because geolocation routing cannot be used to reduce latency, this choice is wrong. Create Amazon Aurora Multi-AS Standby Instance in the EU West 1 region. Amazon Aurora Multi-AS enhances the availability and durability for the database. It does not help in read scaling, so it is not a correct option for the given use case. Set up another fleet of EC2 instances for the web tier in the EU West 1 region. Enable failover routing policy in Route 53. When a resource is healthy, you can route traffic to it. When the resource is unwell, you can route traffic to a different resource. Traffic can be routed to anything from an Amazon S3 bucket set as a website to a complicated tree of records via the primary and secondary records. Because failover routing cannot be used to reduce latency, this choice is wrong. References. Please check these links for more information. Question 111. An e-commerce company operates multiple AWS accounts and has interconnected these accounts in a hub-and-spoke style using the AWS Transit Gateway. VPCs have been provisioned across these AWS accounts to facilitate network isolation. Which of the following solutions would reduce both the administrative overhead and the costs while providing shared access to services required by workloads in each of the VPCs? Build a shared services VPC. Use Transit VPC to reduce cost and share the resources across VPCs. Use fully meshed VPC peers. Use VPCs connected with AWS Direct Connect. Explanation. Correct answer. Build a shared services VPC. Consider a company that has used AWS Transit Gateway to create a hub-and-spoke network. VPCs have been created in numerous AWS accounts, maybe to help with network isolation or to enable delegated network administration. When establishing distributed architectures like this, A common strategy is to create a shared services VPC that enables access to services needed by workloads in each of the VPCs. Directory services and VPC endpoints are examples of this. Sharing resources from a centralized place rather than creating them in each VPC may minimize administrative overhead and costs. Centralized VPC endpoints. Multiple VPCs. Please pause this video and go through this information. Also check this link for more information. A VPC endpoint allows you to privately connect your VPC to supported AWS services without requiring an Internet gateway, NAT device, VPN connection, or AWS Direct Connect connection. Endpoints are virtual devices that are horizontally scaled, redundant, and highly available VPC components. They allow communication between instances in your VPC and services without imposing availability risks or bandwidth constraints on your network traffic. VPC endpoints enable you to reduce data transfer charges resulting from network communication between private VPC resources, such as Amazon Elastic Cloud Compute, or EC2, instances, and AWS services, such as Amazon Quantum Ledger Database, or QLDB. Without VPC endpoints configured, communications that originate from within a VPC destined for public AWS services must egress AWS to the public Internet in order to access AWS services. This network path incurs outbound data transfer charges. Data transfer charges for traffic egressing from Amazon EC2 to the Internet vary based on volume. With VPC endpoints configured, communication between your VPC and the associated AWS service does not leave the Amazon network. If your workload requires you to transfer significant volumes of data between your VPC and AWS, you can reduce costs by leveraging VPC endpoints. Incorrect answers. Use Transit VPC to reduce cost and share the resources across VPCs. In a dedicated Transit VPC with an Internet gateway, Transit VPC uses customer-managed Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2, VPN instances. This approach necessitates the client deploying, configuring, and managing EC2-based VPN appliances, resulting in additional EC2 and possibly third-party product and licensing expenditures. It is important to note that this architecture will create additional data transfer charges for traffic passing through the Transit VPC. Data is paid when it is transferred from a spoke VPC to the Transit VPC, and again when it is sent from the Transit VPC to the on-premises network or a separate AWS region. Transit VPC is not the best option in this case. More on Transit VPC. Please pause this video and go through this information. Also check this link for more information. Use fully meshed VPC peers. This method establishes several peering connections to facilitate information sharing across resources in various VPCs. This design fully meshes numerous VPCs together, with peering connections between each pair of VPCs. Each VPC has access to the resources in all other VPCs with this setup. Each peering connection necessitates changes to all of the other VPCs' route tables, which can be challenging to maintain as the number of VPCs grows. Also, AWS advises a maximum of 125 peering connections per VPC. It's difficult to manage and isn't a good fit for the current situation. More on fully meshed VPC peers. Please pause this video and go through this information. Also check this link for more information. Use VPCs connected with AWS Direct Connect. Customers who need to link a large number of VPCs to a central VPC or on-premises resources, or who already have an AWS Direct Link connection, should consider this option. Customers can also implement transitive routing into their network design with this approach. For example, if VPC-A and VPC-B are both connected to an on-premises network using AWS Direct Connect, the two VPCs can be linked via AWS Direct Connect. Direct Connect necessitates the use of physical connections and takes around a month to set up. This is not a suitable solution for the current case. References. Please check these links for more information.